to. I have it. I do. Good evening. As always, I apologize. I was looking at some, see if there was any update on the story that I'm going to share with you all this evening. So, as always, please forgive me. Lisa Flemings, good evening to you. Dana Hudson, good evening to you. As always, I love you big time. I thank you all for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. Of course, we have a lot of material that we're going to try to cover tonight, but as always, I don't think we're going to be able to get to all of it. So we'll do what we can do, and then, as they say, we'll live to fight another day. Miss Thomas, good evening to you. Tracy Taylor's in the house. Good evening to you. My good friend Valerie Montgomery is here tonight. As always, love you big time. Louise Royal, my good friend, love you big time. Tammy Baker is in the house. Love you. Thank you for tuning into our broadcast tonight. We are going to discuss Tootie. There's we have no new updates on the case. But I'm going to call attention to some things, and we'll go from there. Lisa Robertson has finally made it back home. Love you big time. Okay, Maid, love you big time. Thank you for tuning in as well. Today, it's a lot going on today. It is the March on Washington. I think it was 65 years ago. I think I got the years right. Emmett Till. LaShawn Davis, good evening to you. Welcome. Let me just get right into Emmett Till. Several years ago, it's every year, I do a story on Emmett Till. And sometimes, if you call, there may be a brief message about Emmett Till or whatever case we're doing that we're trying to bring awareness to. Now, whenever I do something, whenever I leave a message or whatever, I don't deal with sugar-coated shit cookies. If I die today or tomorrow, they say, well, like them or not, we can describe them in one word, realist, and that's it. A white woman called my phone, and I know I didn't answer. The message picked up, and it talked about Emmett Till. The white woman left a voice message. Mr. Scott, this is horrible. I didn't know you talked like that. I cannot believe you will put all that on a message for people to hear. She was upset. She was upset. No, I'm lying. I'll use her word, she was livid of what I said. Look at Miss Renfrey in the house. Yes, you are late. If you're late again, I promise you, you will go in timeout. And that you do not want to do. Love you big time. Always glad to see you. Bertha Williams, good evening to you. And Samuel, good evening to you. And I think it was that Bates, good evening to you as well. So I stopped what I was doing. I was going to call her. What I did, I left the bank. I went straight to her office. And I said, what's the problem? What's wrong with her? I said, you left me a message that you was upset with my message. Yes, I can't believe you said all that. I said, well, did I lie? She said, oh, I don't know. I mean, but it was just gross what you said. I said, let me tell you something about Emmett Till's mother before we get into him. What was done to Emmett Till Naturally, you know it's going to be a closed casket. But Emmett Till's mother said absolutely, positively, unquestionable, no. I want the world to see what they did to my baby. And what she heard on my voicemail was everything that happened to Emmett Till. We started with the lie of him whistling, flirting with a white woman. They went and got him from a relative's house. The man begged not to take him, not to take him. Back then, blacks couldn't do nothing. Or you'll get it too. They promised the black man, we're not going to kill him. We're going to take him. We're going to teach him a lesson, and we're going to bring him back. They lied. They cut his penis out, stuck his penis in his mouth, gouged his eyes out, center blocks on him, weighed him down, and a lot of other terrible things. And that's basically what I said. I said, now, if you have a problem with that, maybe you should go and talk to anybody that's still alive that had a part in this and thought it was a wonderful thing. And ask them, why would you do that? What Mr. Scott said you did. Because don't blame me. I'm telling you what happened. It's real life. And that's the problem with a lot of us and people, period. They want you to tell it the way they want you to tell it. A spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down. We don't do that. We don't give out sugar-coated shit cookies. You may not like the things I say. You may not even like me. But the truth is the truth, whether you believe it or not. The truth don't change because you don't want to hear it or you don't believe it. What was done to Emmett Till, I don't think there's a word on planet Earth to describe what they did to that young man. And later, we will find out, as we knew back then, that Carolyn, she lied. Wrote a book about it. When it first came out, but she admitted to lying. What I said then, I still feel today. I wouldn't give a damn if she's 99 years old. And the doctor said, Mr. Scott, she don't have but 2 days to live. Lock her ass up for 2 days. That's what you do. We're going to have sympathy for the woman that lied on Emmett Till, which cost him his life, and you say she's of age. Let's just leave it alone. So really, we'll switch this around and say the white woman is now a victim of racism from blacks. I wouldn't give a damn if she was on a breathing machine. 30 minutes. Lock her up for 30 minutes. It's simple as that. I wish she would have just kept that to herself. She didn't have to come and tell us that. She should have took that to the grave. At least that's the way that I see it. Yes, we do, Jay, and we're going to get to that in just a moment, I promise. Just let me get some few things out. Bertha Williams says, your comment went so fast, I didn't see it. I think she said that my children, I see it, okay. My children live there in Shreveport, okay. And I was born and raised there. When the hospital was named Confederate Memorial. Listen, when I was born, that's where I was born at, Confederate Memorial Medical Center. So I take it you saw the video that we put out earlier today. It's terrible. It's terrible what's going on in Shreveport. Earlier today, a little before 4 o'clock, we got the emails that another person had been shot in Shreveport, Louisiana. This time, it was a drive-by shooting. From what we know now, the individual that was shot twice in the chest was not the intended target. She's a female, and to make matters worse, as if they can get any worse, she's pregnant. Her injuries are said to be life-threatening. So you want us to continue to come to the mic and the camera and be politically correct. Don't cuss them. Don't say ugly things about them. Just talk to them like they have sense. Well, you cannot speak to a crazy person as if they have sense, because they don't. They're crazy. And that's how you address them. It's as simple as that. I grew up here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Bertha, you remember Travis Street down in the bottom? That's where I grew up at. And I love my city. I love my city. We have a lot of problems in my city. And we all must aggressively work together to get them out. We must do that. As I said earlier, you're pathetic, you're trifling, you're insignificant, you're existing just to be existing. A black person in Shreveport, Louisiana is guaranteed to get a bullet before they get the coronavirus. That's a fact. We are in a serious crisis. And I'm kind of repeating what I said earlier. You're not gangsters. You're not a gang member. You're wannabes. You're cowards. That's what you are. You're cowards. Gangsters, when they would put that iron on you, they leave, but they walk away, get in the car, and drive on off. That's what gangsters do. But cowards throw a bullet and run like a coward he or she is. Your life is miserable. You don't even know why you're on planet Earth. And you keep interrupting the tranquility in homes because there's a battlefield going on inside of your mind. It is almost a shooting every day in Shreveport, Louisiana. And if there's not a shooting, shots fired, shots fired, shots fired. The police cannot do it all. They're shorthanded. We cannot fight it through social media, through YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Come from behind the desk, get in the streets, and let's go. Let's go. We have to aggressively address this like yesterday, because it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Somebody's child earlier today, it might be yours tonight, even if you're not in Shreveport, Louisiana. I don't want to hear, well, you know, it's happening in a lot of the black neighborhoods, and poverty, you know, environment, and they don't have any jobs and stuff, and they've been in prison. There was no father in the home, you know, and they just been beat down by the oppressor since the beginning and stuff. You know, they came over here on as slaves on a ship named Jesus. So, you know, that's why they do it, because they're hurting. Let me tell you something about hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. That's as simple as that. But not everyone that's hurting go grabs a damn gun and fire it. It doesn't. They don't do that. They don't. So we cannot keep enabling them to continue to do what they're doing by accepting the invitation to their pity party. We can't. We will fault our leaders and law enforcement before we find fault in the thugs, in the criminals, in the lowlife, trifling sons of bitches. That's what you are. I said it. I said it. The only thing you can do is put a bullet in me, and that's it. But guess what? My message just still went out. Still went out. As long as you let them use an excuse for being violent and diabolical, they will continue to practice violence and be diabolical. To continue to blame law enforcement is meaningless. Go see the wizard if you need a heart. Go see the wizard if you need courage to look at them in their face and say, you're the problem. You're the problem. And when we have problems, what do? We deal with problems. You have the ability in life, black, white, young, or old. You have the ability in life, regardless to what comes your way, you have the ability to decide how you will respond to that. You have that ability. Eddie Moore, good evening to you and welcome. You have the ability to do that. Unfortunately, when it comes to the consequences that you must face, that's out of your control. That's out of your control. Time out for sympathizing with the criminals. It's over. It's over. The individual that was shot today, that's pregnant, Ms. Farris called me. And if I remember correctly, there's so much going on. I think she said that that's a relative of hers. Naturally, people are upset. But you cannot be upset to the degree that you say you are upset. Because if you were, I'm talking to my black brothers and sisters, if you were, you would be doing the same thing that they're doing in other cities and states. So you'll be protesting. You wouldn't be doing it. Oh, wait, no, you wouldn't. I'm wrong. You wouldn't protest because black lives really don't matter. Black lives matter, put it that way, when a white person, a white cop, shoots or kills a black person. Then you gather up the posse and go to Walmart and get a poster board and a black permanent marker. No justice, no peace. Today, in 2020, we are still trying to fight the system with old methods to their new tricks. That white man don't give a damn about you holding up a sign saying no justice, no peace. If he want peace in the city, he's gonna get some damn peace. That don't mean shit. The average black person will protest 3 to 4 months and then leave it alone and go back to their daily life. So my question to some of the leaders in Shreveport, and I'm not putting everybody in the same cup because I'm working with a lot of them. I am. They're at the table. They're getting things together. They got the minds together. They're trying to figure out how do we address this. So I'm not putting everybody in the same cup. But for you pro-black sapsuckers, the pumping of the fist brothers, you don't care about black people. You don't. If you did, you'd be in your neighborhood with a sign. That's what you'd be doing. But it's not important to you. You're not going to get no media attention for bringing awareness to black on black crime. You don't say nothing. So when you don't say a mumbling word, do not come in my face with this Black Lives Matter bullshit. Because y'all tired of me saying this, but I'm probably saying it till I die. We cannot get the white race or any other race on planet Earth to believe that Black lives matter until black people know that it matters and begin to live life like it matters. Until then, you're bullshit. You're talking. You're saying something close to nothing. You're scared to call your own people out. That makes you, in my opinion, a hypocrite. And you're just as guilty as the low-life, trifling sons of bitches out there pulling the goddamn triggers. Because they stupid. They messed up in the head. I gotta get me. You don't own a goddamn thing. What you gonna get? Nothing. You're not even working. This your block. Some of you so damn dumb you can't spell .com. This is your block. Hitting on your chest. I'm a man. I ain't gotta take this shit. If you are a man, you don't have to do all this shit. But you're not a man. You got a man's body. But deep inside, you ain't nothing but a low-down, trifling little bitch. That's what you are. I said. You shooting guns every day, every night, just because you can fucking do it, and then you run like a little bitch because you don't want to go to jail. They need jobs. Bullshit. Just because somebody has a job does not mean they won't shoot or kill your ass. Here's what they need. They need an intervention in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. There's a battlefield in the mind. Self-hatred. I don't like me, and I don't like you. We're in the ghetto, ain't shit going right. I don't give a damn no more. I don't give a fuck. And that's their attitude. Until they put handcuffs on them. And then they come, Miss Scott, what you think gonna happen? Your ass have been down before. But let me break it down to you if you don't remember. You're gonna go before someone in a black robe, and they're going to pronounce judgment on your ass. That's what's gonna happen. You know the routine. You know it. Don't act like you're a fresh fish. But if you was a gangster, you wouldn't give a fuck about going to jail because you have done what you set out to do. You ain't no coward. You'll stay there till the law comes. But why you run? That's what bitches do. You talk all of that gangster shit. But when it get gangster, we can't find your ass. Y'all are sad. For those of you who don't have the courage to say who's doing it or who you think is doing it, call me. 1-800-231-1811, extension 2. Tell me. Email me. I will get it to the police. I promise you that. Yes, I'll take that damn bullet. This is my city. And we're not trying to be in competition with Chicago. We make it hard sometimes for blacks to defend blacks. Because every time we defend one, and that's simple, here come another one. It's kind of like Donald Duck. He never says what he really means. So the flunkies come behind him, but that's not what he meant. No. When he said black NFL players were sons of bitches, he didn't mean sons of bitches. He meant sons of a bitch. Okay, that's different. Okay. We got to get it together. If we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, then we too become part of the problem. Call Black Lives Matter and ask them when they're going to roam the highways, speaking against black on black crime. When they going to do that? Black Lives Matter. Well, make me know it. Don't just start to graffiti shit when a white person has killed a person of color. Your fight for injustice, against injustices,
should be across the scale for everybody. Black, white, young, or old. If it's wrong, it's just wrong. Don't cherry pick what you want to fight for or bring awareness to. Now, so we can get on into tonight's show, the words I leave for you, South Suckers, I quote my good friend, Brother Paul. Brother Paul said, "Have I therefore become your enemy? Because I tell you the truth." That's what Paul said. Study your Bible sometime. Don't read it. Study your Bible sometimes. Okay. There's nothing really new on the Malil case. The 2-year-old girl who allegedly went missing on Saturday and would be found the next day in a pond approximately 25 miles from where she lived. I honestly don't know what happened. We don't know the cause of death yet. It has not been released. There has not been an arrest made. But it's like deja vu all over again, especially with the child being named Malil. I think that the Friday night, they went to a store and did not have the child with them. And they said, "I'm going to tell the truth. We're going to tell the truth. We left the child alone in the house." Now, y'all, that might be the only truth they have ever spoken. If they said that, that might be the only truth these people have ever spoken. But here's the thing. There was really no need for an adult to stay in the house because the body was there. The body that was there was dead. She was dead. She never made it to a playground. She was dead. At that time, when they entered the store, they either had A, already took her, where they took her, or B, they were getting ready to take her somewhere. There's nothing either parent can say that will make me believe otherwise, but knowing someone did something and proving they did it is two different things. So that right there, we have to let the chief of Vado and HPD and the mayor know we're not gonna, this one, you're not going to drop the ball on. So if you all have emailed them, you want to send me a copy of that, I would love it so that we can post it and make it public so we'll know that people are demanding justice for this child. I mean, this is happening on the regular. And when it happens on the regular, simply put, it becomes the norm. Someone sent me a picture earlier today, and I'm sure you all probably already seen it. I shared it on our YouTube channel, Instagram, and Facebook. Someone put Brittany Bowens and the other girl and her husband, boyfriend, together. And just about every post that Brittany Bowens did throughout the ordeal, this girl here, Miss Urban, is doing the exact same pose. Brittany fell out when she saw a car. My baby, my baby. Brittany knew a car, that baby was not in the car. She knew that. But she drops her big, fat, 500-pound ass down on the ground. Some people can be over dramatic. Bertha Williams said, "Mr. Scott, she was trying to fight Malcolm X with the toothpaste." I didn't know about that. Oh my God. I didn't know about that. Now, I think both of them has something to do with it. Something to do with it. But everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. So when you lie to me one time, especially on a serious issue, let's say like homicide, I then question everything else that you say. Everything else after that must be proven to me. Because you started out showing me who you really was. And that's a lie. I think Mariana Maya Angelou said the best: when somebody shows you who they really are, believe them. Believe them. Today, not a lot has changed for Black people. Not a lot has changed. We still marching in 2020. I don't know about you all, but I never thought that we would be to a place in this country at this day and age to where Black people would still have to march, cry, plead, beg our leaders and law enforcement to do the jobs they took an oath to do. Nothing has changed. We're still begging. We're still begging. Now that is stupid on us. Because if you look back in history, some things worked back then. But what we're doing now, marching, it's not working. Well, how can you say that? Well, I don't know. Black innocent men and women are still being shot by cops. You know, I mean, they're still being put in the chokehold. They're still being racially profiled. They're still being harassed. I guess that's what they mean. I don't think if this is still going on, then the results that I have been looking for, they're not there. So what does that tell me? Stop right there. We may need to address this in a different way. And we do. And we do. The protests are not working. They're not. White police officers do not give a damn about Black people. They're not scared of Black people. White people are not scared of Black people. They throw that out there to get away with how they treat us as Black people. Even in 2020, we are still seen by some as 3/5 of a human. And that's what it angers me so much with the Black on Black crime, because I'm like, the white man don't need no help, but you all are helping him, and you're doing an excellent job at it. Now, I watched the March on Washington today, and it was very emotional. I'm sure some of you watched it. George Floyd, brother, as always, he always breaks me down, because I believe they was just real close. And he always speaks. Breonna Taylor family was there. They spoke. One of Dr. King's niece spoke very loud, with such passion. If they didn't tell you her name, you knew who she had to be kin to. If the protest was working, don't you all think by now we wouldn't have the protests? White people don't do it. White mothers don't do it. White mothers are not on CNN with civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump begging for justice for her son or her daughter. I watched an officer pump what I thought was 7 bullets into Jacob Blake. But we would later learn that the police lied. They pumped 8 bullets in. Now, for those of you, white and Black, who keeps bringing up Jacob Blake's criminal history, I have a problem with that, because every time an officer kills or shoots or wounds a Black person, some people and a lot of media outlets immediately begin to do a criminal background check on the victim. He did this. He did that. Okay. He had a warrant out for his arrest. Okay. The brother committed no crime. And let us remember this. Bertha says she counted 8. You are correct. Let us remember this. Just because a person is accused of committing a crime does not necessarily mean he or she has committed a crime. They have simply been accused of committing a crime. I think the protest is working. Okay, well, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Or 207. I disagree, and I'm not mad at you for. I mean, you have your own opinion. From what I see, the protests are not working. They're not. Anytime a black person continues to get shot, racial profiled, or have to do a police brutality, and the protests are still going on, it's not working. If one person gets shot, it's not working. It's not. It's just not. They're listening to what we're saying, but they're not hearing what we are saying. Good evening, fam. Welcome. They're not hearing us. For the most part, they don't give a damn. The protests, in my opinion, are not effective enough because nothing's changing. Nothing's changing. If anything, it's getting worse for black men and black women in this country, especially when they have to encounter a police officer. It's a matter of life and death now. If I twitch wrong, boom, 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 boom. Tell the families that have lost loved ones at the hands of diabolical police officers that the protest is working. Most of them probably say, no, it's not. It's not. And it still amazes me. Edwards, good evening to you. It still amazes me how the system continues to inflict violence on black people. Violence on black people. And they always come to the mic, or either get the victim's family to come to the mic and say, that's not what he would want. He didn't stand for violence. Don't do that. Don't do that. Leave it alone. Don't let his name be in vain. Don't let his death be in vain. Y'all stop it. Y'all do what the fuck you feel you need to do. That's what you do. They're not listening. And when the powers that be will not listen, we have to do as former President Barack Hussein Obama said, do not accept the world they're trying to get you to live in. Make the powers that be uncomfortable. That's it. Interrupt their lives. That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. So when you go and you do a criminal background check on the victim, maybe it's time for mainstream media and others to start doing a criminal background check on the police officers that's doing the shooting and the killing. Check their background. you check our background. So if there's anything there, oh, look at this, 1992, he got a ticket because he dropped a napkin on the street and won't pick it up. Okay, but what the hell does that have to do with him being pumped full of bullets? What does that have to do with him being shot 8 times in the back? 8 times in the back. And he didn't have a weapon. He did. Slippers, shorts, t-shirt. By the way, the officer got his hand on the t-shirt. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Jacob Blake admitted to having a weapon in his possession. And that weapon was a knife. And it was found on the driver's side floorboard of the SUV. He admitted it. He did. He did. Well, let me say this. I doubt he did. I doubt he did that. This man has been heavily sedated from day one. The daddy don't know anything about it. His attorney said, no, that didn't happen. I wouldn't give a damn. I wouldn't give a damn if Jacob Blake had 25,000 AK-47s in the SUV. Nothing constitutes 8 bullets in his back in front of his kids. Nothing. I don't give a damn if he molested Lisa, Tanya, Karen, and Sharon. You cannot say, well, it's okay because it's karma what he did. No, it's not karma. And no, it's not right. So we're going to execute him or inflict pain on him because of what he did. Well, you know, he still had a warrant out, so we're going to inflict pain on him and kill him because he still has a warrant out. Goddamn. That makes no earthly goddamn sense. They did. You're absolutely right, brother. They did. They did. Charlene Bennett says it's not okay at all. She just preached. It's not okay. It's not okay. But now watch this. Watch this. Even if he had a weapon in the SUV, guess what? He didn't have it in his hand. Guess what? He was of no threat to the officers. Guess what? They could have just pulled him back. Guess what? We couldn't justify 1 shot, maybe 2. Anything after that, we got to investigate. In his back. And now, Mr. Blake is paralyzed from the waist down. And his pain, they talked about it, they said, he's in severe pain. He's in pain. And he said, asked his dad, why did they have to shoot him so many times? So right after the AG makes that announcement, he admitted he had it. Don't give a damn. Comes back, yes, but he was of no threat to the officers. Well, I don't believe it. He had to be a threat. Jacob Blake had to be a threat to law enforcement. And they had the right to pump 8 bullets in him because he was a threat to the police officers. So that's why they did it. He had to be a threat. He had to be. Character assassination. Character assassination. It took you a couple of days to come up with some bullshit. You came up with it. Now to make matters worse, this man who is now paralyzed from the waist down is being shackled to the bed. And he committed no crime. But crime or not, where was he going? Where was he going? So we still haven't received an answer as to why he was handcuffed. 12:45 today, I posted it out on YouTube, Facebook, and everywhere. I called the police department and wanted to speak with their public information officer. Transferred me. He wasn't there. And I left a message. And my message was simple. I just want to know, first of all, why did you pump 8 bullets in him? And why is it necessary for you all to have this brother shackled to the bed? And you will not answer the media's question when it comes to that. I guess with enough heat, breaking news, his outstanding warrant has been vindicated and he is no longer shackled to the bed. Okay, that's good. That's good then. Yeah, won't he do it? Yeah, he'll do it, girl. I'm not going to go into his criminal history. I have it. I'm not going to go into it because to me, it's irrelevant. I'm not even going into the outstanding warrant he had. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to me. You're always trying to paint my people as beasts, monsters, monkeys, some untamable animal. And whenever you put their picture up, if they ever been arrested, that's what you use. Or you'll use the picture of him or her being shot or killed. You'll use that. It was the same thing with George Zimmerman. Every time they showed him, neatly cut, dressed, clean. Whenever they showed Trayvon Martin, throwing up a sign or something, off the wall. Well, so here's what I did. I went and got the picture of George Zimmerman in a prison uniform. I started sharing that, along with Trayvon Martin in a suit. Mainstream media helps the police paint a picture of an individual that does not exist. And they do it well. If the police department was for justice, if the police department was right, if they were right, if they would do right. Here's what would have happened a day ago. It's not enough to put the officers on paid administrative leave. Now, the one that pumped the bullets in, if they were for justice, he would be in handcuffs right now. While they're sitting behind closed doors, trying to figure out how not to charge him. What can we lie about? If y'all saw me on Facebook pump bullets into a brother, he had a weapon in there, but he didn't get in there because I got him. I pumped bullets in him. Do you think they would arrest me or would I still be free? Anybody can answer it. Anybody want to answer it, you can. police officers are held to a higher standard. It used to be a department of respect. That's what it used to be. To see a man and a woman in that uniform was a good thing to see. They respected the office. They don't now. They don't. Tammy Baker, I thank you so much. She just said it. They would arrest you. That's what they would do. That's what they would do. They can take a video and they can edit it in their favor. There's no need to further investigate. Well, we got to figure out what happened prior to that. Yes, sir, Mr. Scott. What do you want now? I know what happened prior to that. What, Mr. Scott? They was beating his ass and he got away from them. They was fucking with him. That's what happened. Nothing else. Now, can we get to the business of handcuffs? Let's do that. But they're not. They have no desire to arrest and help prosecute their very own for the life of a nigger. Now you tell me, with all honesty and having all 5 of your senses, that protests across this country, speaking out against racial injustices and racial profiling, you tell me that the protests are fucking working. No, they're not working. So don't get caught up in that bullshit. It's working. We just got a few bad apples. There's some good cops on the force. Well, where are the goddamn good cops at when the bad cops are acting a fucking ass? Where the good cops at? Where they at? They all bad. I put them all in the same goddamn cup. You violently attack my people, but then you come and ask my people to protest peacefully. Then you give my people a curfew of when to go in. Because that's your cutoff point, because I don't hear that shit after 10. What the fuck? You have a white boy, 17 years old, in the middle of a protest about black issues, walking around armed with a deadly weapon. Shoot people. Kill 2. Some of the police officers had a conversation with the brother. Applauded him for being out there, trying to keep the peace. "17 years old. If you asked him, he would probably say mission accomplished. So, before we get out of here, it's up to me, you, all of us, to start not only living life like Black Lives Matter, but it's time for us to make sure that we become the change that we are looking for. We will not accept the world they want us to live in. You slap me, you kick me, you beat me, you shoot me, and then you tell me it's okay to respond to the things that you have done to me, with the exception that you do it in a peaceful manner. Good evening, caller. You live on air. What's your name and what state are you calling from this evening?
Tammy Tammy Baker, Ohio.
Good evening, Miss Baker. How are you?
I'm fine. I wanted to say something
Yes, ma'am.
to what you said. I was watching, I can't remember where it was, but I believe he's over the officers. And they had the media there and a lot of people around them. And he was saying that when they protest and start breaking in the buildings and putting them on fire and doing all of that stuff, he said we don't hear anything you're saying anymore. They were talking about the Jacob Blake case. Okay, said we can't hear nothing you're saying anymore. You know, because they was trying to say that you know the issues that that's being brought up. So I wanted to say that because that came out of, I believe he was over the officers. I don't know what job he had or whatever, but he said we don't hear you no more. Once you start doing all that protesting and coming out doing all of this, you know, and the killings that happen in these protests and shootings and all of that, he said, we don't hear you no more. It's just what you've been saying. We got to find another way. And we have to do it a different way because they don't hear us. I heard him say this himself. He said they don't hear nothing we have to say. You know, no justice for Mr. Blake, you know, none of that. Whatever our concerns are, they don't hear us when we out there. You know, people out there doing all of that stuff. So,
you know, I'm glad you called, and that's the truth. That's the truth. You just confirmed it. What we do, and we don't realize it, is we really piss them off then, and the shootings keep going on, harassments keep going on. So it's useless to continue to get out there in the hot sun, risk your life for getting a bullet from a cop of the coronavirus, and they are not listening to Black people. So we need a new approach to the injustices that we continue to receive in this country. But that what he said came from his heart.
Yes. Yes. So what approaches have you came up with some approaches that you feel would work for us?
You know, one of the things that we must do first, we have to deal with us. We have to deal with us, loving each other, get back to being family together, and then we must sit at a table. But here's the thing about sitting at the table to deal with racial issues. If you got a table full of Black people, I mean, that's like giving a whale a tic tac. Nothing is going to happen. You have to have a table with white and Black people. Everybody must be heard. Even the racist white people must be there. You may say some shit I don't like, but I promise it's not going to get ugly. We have to start a dialogue like this, and then you got other people need to be addressing laws that protect white people, laws that protect police officers, because there's two systems, one for white folks and one for niggas. Now, if you say, I know my rights, the average Black person don't. They just said that. They don't know. But it is extremely easy for a cop not to be indicted on a charge simply because he or she wears a badge. And the prosecutor don't give a damn about you. They're trying to protect the police officer that took an oath to serve and protect. So that's why it's difficult to put cuffs on a cop, and it's difficult to get a grand jury to indict a cop, because when they look at that cop in uniform or not, they see their lifeline on earth. Surely that nigga did something. Surely he did something. See, he had a knife. Wait, whoa. They say he had a knife, right?
Right.
I don't believe a damn thing they say. And I tell them to the face, everything that you say, everything that you write, I want you to prove it. You can write anything that you want to on that piece of paper, but I need you to be able to prove what you put on that piece of paper, because you continue to do this to us and act like it's just a normal day. Oh, I apologize, Miss Baker. It is a normal day for them. This is what they do. This is what they do. But we have to make it extremely hard for a cop to get away. Anytime a cop is the question of at the center of an investigation, that cop must be placed on leave without pay. That cop must be placed on leave without pay. If that cop is found in the wrong, that cop must lose all of his or her benefits, which will go to the family of that individual's life that they took or they interrupt. When cops are becoming part of an investigation, I don't need you to be in New York and able to catch a flight and go to Florida. I need you to stay in the city where the incident occurred. I do not need you getting a check, enjoying life, while another Black family is preparing to bury their loved one. If we don't do that, and if we don't make it extremely easy to sue police officers, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse, and we'll be forever putting Dr. Soul's feet, or whatever they call it, in our damn shoes for marching.
You're right.
Miss Baker, as always, I thank you for calling in. Appreciate your genuine support for the show, and stay safe.
All right, you too. I appreciate you too.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. Okay, I have to get out of here. Not yet. Good evening, calling you live on air. What's your name and what state are you calling from tonight?
This is Brother Emmanuel calling out of Houston, Texas. Do you got a few seconds for me?
I believe I do. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, I like y'all topic, man, and that I know on yesterday, man, you tried to bring it up, and time got away, so I'm thankful for you bringing that back. I just want to shout out to everybody that's listening, man.
Okay.
Much appreciation. Tell everybody, man, to back you up, man, not just with views, also with your donations, man, so this man can continue bringing these injustice investigations to everybody. But that situation up there in Kenosha, man, for everybody that do know me, you know, my daughters, I was just up there at the beginning of the year. And last year for my daughter's graduation, that's where they're from, that's where they stay. So, you know, I did some videos on last year showing y'all how the town is and how the people are. You know, I interacted real tough with them, man, but it's not unlike many of our other hoods, you know what I'm saying? It's just a bunch of Black folks up there, but it's a bunch of different races also. You have the Hispanics, you have the whites. I mean, and when you say those labels, you don't know what the background is. Some white folks ain't that white folks, you know. You got Russians, you got Australians, you got Englishmen, British folks, French folks, Germans, you know, but they put them all in the same category over here so that they can be greater in numbers together. But they separate all of us in the colors and call you an African, or you were born in America, or you're a sellout nigga, or a real nigga. It's so many categories they separate us in to keep us from uniting. But what you was asking in that question, man, where do we go from here? What do we do? What we have to do is what the answers that have been telling us for the longest. We're going to have to unite, but we're going to have to understand that every single Black person is not going to unite, because every single person that has melanin in their skin does not display the behaviors of what we call Black. You know what I'm saying? So you can see a lot of these folks, like with the cops, you know, until you make them responsible for what they do. And what we need to do is push legislation to where every cop that has a gun can has a position of privilege, a position of danger to our lives, then that person needs to be bonded. They need to have some form of insurance, and we need to go after taking their gun licenses when they distribute that power from the gun in the wrong way. That's That's the only way, because that's the only thing they respect. They respect money. They respect the job. None of them are doing the job as a police officer for free. There's not one police officer out there volunteering and not getting paid. At the end, in the beginning, the middle of the day, this is a money thing. And you have to disturb their money, because that's the only thing they respect. You screaming Black Lives Matter, they don't give a fuck.
Come on!
Black lives do not matter to them.
Come on!
And so they're not going to matter at all to anybody. Why? Because they don't respect life. They only respect money. They'll take from each other. They built the system up and then started robbing each other. So you think they're going to ever care about you? No, we need to stop saying this Black Lives Matter. It creates too much rhetoric of controversy, and we need to push forward on what we know really affects them, and that is materials. That's possessions. That's money. Like those players in the NBA, they did what Colin Kaepernick and them should have done. They stopped the entertainment. You feel what I'm saying? And when you stop the entertainment, what that does is there's a lot of other people collectively that are in on that entertainment, and all of them will be affected. After they be affected long enough on this paper, they'll realize that we all are colorblind over here, and the only color that does matter is green, and they're going to respect the green, because they're not going to respect our black lives. They're going to respect yellow lives, purple lives, blue lives, red lives. They're not. People have built a country, a world of money. And so innately, not even knowing it, sometimes we become servants of money, and we value money over everything, because yeah, they can say it. We brought up a lot of instances of problems dead in our hood. We can't go out fighting the enemy in front of us outside the hood when we got our own stabbing us inside the hood. It ain't gonna make for better. So we have to address that, but we have to address it not on the way they want to address it. They try to use it every time we say Black Lives Matter. Well, why don't y'all start with yourselves, or all lives matter? Don't address it then. Address it truly on fixing the problem so that we can stand against others, against the outside problems. And the way to fix it is the serenity prayer, except that everybody's not going to come along. So you have to define your people now, not by color or melanation, but by their activities, the whole of their activities. Not just a few days, y'all just seen them, they become a pretty name, pretty face. No, and stop being so livid about backing up anything black, because everything black is not black anymore, y'all. We have from the Bible, if y'all want to be a spiritual person, I'll tell you in the Bible, it says you will sojourn into a nation of strange people with strange ways, doing strange things. And that's what we are here on. This is strange to us when you can't respect my life as well as I respect yours. People that don't understand that, they're strange. So we're full of them. And now we have sojourned. That means you joined into those ways. So, it becomes a job, man. And a lot of these brothers and sisters that y'all want to go against and say, man, you a lawman and you should stand up for us. Remember, the beginning, the middle, and the end of the day, that is a job. That is how they pay their bills. And a lot of times, they're not going to go against their bills. Especially a lot of these black laws, you're not seeing too many situations where blacks are killing whites on accident. Blacks are being scared. And so people try to put the narrative and say, well, we're just a different people. We're just a good-hearted people. That's a damn lie. No, we're not. We're killers, too. We get scared, too. We'll brush your ass, too. But when you see the black officers not killing as much as these white officers, that means that the black officers that are in there in control, they recognize the program that is going on where they know even in that position of authority, they won't be saved. You let them do it to one of them. It's going to be open and shut. They'll slam dunk them. Why? And so that's why a lot of these black officers are not going to stand up for you. I'm sorry, y'all can want to say it, oh, he black. That don't mean shit. When he took that job as an ex-slave catcher, as a new slave catcher, he's going to join on to the protocol of that job, and that job is made specifically against you, to hold you down. So he's not going to go against that on his money. Y'all see that on regular places. It's your regular job. Some of these folks from your regular job is ready to snitch you out, and they're not going to stand up for what's morally right because they have to pay their rent. So respect that and know that everybody, they're just trying to pay bills. But for our enemy. If you take his authority away from him, you take that gun out of his hand, you take that check out of his pocket, those are the only reasons he's doing it. For that payment, and because they give him the authority, which is a final authority, it's death. So, if anybody feel like, hey man, I can stop a problem with death, then they're going to feel invincible and they're going to abuse their authority. But once you get them back on the level, and it's going to take time, y'all. It's not going to be an overnight solution. Once you get them back enough times and you write the proper legislation into where it's enforced by all officers all over the country, where they have to be personally responsible for what they do, when they have to be bonded, and when they get enough lawsuits on all these situations, oh yeah, they're going to make them second guess pulling that gun out. And they're going to change up the rules to where the first thing that you do cannot be using deadly force. And even though that's implemented in some departments, you have to have a respectful fear. These people have to see many of them going to jail, many of them losing their livelihood, like as you said, many of them losing their money, their 401ks and all that, because that's what a lot of people are doing the job for. Everyone that's out there ain't a pig that's out there to hurt you or didn't get the job because he got bullied as a kid. A lot of people have the job as an officer neutrally minded just for a check. So we're gonna have to, much as we don't like that, we're gonna have to respect those few, and we're gonna have to pick through those other ones, and we're gonna have to just go by case basis. Because like they say, if one nigga hurt one of them, they'll try to say we all did it. We can't turn around and do that same shit to law enforcement. Because everybody got somebody in law enforcement that's your kinfolk or something, or that had a situation where a law was a cool law at a certain time, let you make it when you know you were wrong. What we're after is what we need to stay on topic of. We're getting rid of crooked authority, not authority. We brought authority to this land. White men and all that built America didn't bring no laws here. Exactly. That was never.
Emmanuel, I'm out of time. Okay, Emmanuel, look at the thing. See what I'm doing?
I'm sorry.
Okay, no. Listen, let me tell you something. No. Don't apologize. Listen, you just knocked it out the ballpark. I didn't interrupt you because you didn't miss a beat. You did not miss a beat. And I needed to hear it, and I wanted my viewers to hear it because, again, you didn't sugarcoat it. You told it like it TI is. So that's why I didn't interrupt you because you are 1,000,000% on the money. And I thank you for that. You know, right. And hopefully we'll talk tomorrow, I guess, because I got to get you here, brother. I have to get you on there. So one night it's just you and I talking to the people and stuff. So all right. So we will get together on that. But look, quickly before we go, 'cause I got one more thing I need to do. I know you're in the midst of what's going on with Tootie in Houston, Texas. Is there anything new you can tell us before we leave?
Okay, as of right now, they're just waiting because of the storm, and the storm kind of threw everybody's plans off. So even our medical examiners' offices and all of that was shut down. And now that we've seen the storm ain't that bad, they've resumed it. So they're looking at Monday is going to be the earliest that they will make a press conference and release, because they were going to do it today. But as I said, all that didn't happen. So we're waiting for Monday for them to let us know the formal charges that the district attorney is going after based off of the autopsy. It's everything that you and your viewers have been saying, and it's just an act of patience that we're all going to have. But trust me, they have the body and they know exactly what happened to her from the findings. And they're gonna surprise them. They're not gonna do like the other times and give them a little headway for them to try to leave or run away.
Well, let me ask you this, right? Whenever this happens, can I get you? It doesn't matter what time it happens or whatever. Can I get you to come on the show and give us an update whenever it happens?
Yes, sir. I'd be honored to, and I'll make sure you get the information that I get first, so that you can already get ahead of everybody.
All right, Emmanuel. I greatly appreciate you, brother. I love you big time, and again, you knocked it out the ballpark.
Love you too, brother, and everybody that's listening, man. Y'all keep supporting Brother Alfonso, man, and keep supporting the truth. One love.
Okay, I have one question for you all before we get out of here. I'm gonna cut that off because I can't take any more calls. I'm over my time. Okay, one quick question. We're gonna get out of here. Don't have anything to do with we were just talking about tonight. The white woman in Florida slapped a 11-year-old black boy. They was at an amusement park on bumper cars, and he bumped into hers. She slapped him and then called him a racial slur. Now, she got arrested. But let me ask you this. Anybody want to answer? They can. If a white woman slaps your black child, what would you do? Just anybody give me one quick answer. What would you do if this white woman slapped your child and called him or her a nigger or a bastard or whatever the name may be? What would you do? I'm just waiting on one answer to pop up and we'll get out of here. Because I know what Mr. Scott would do. Tootie in Houston. I don't know. Okay, I don't understand that comment from Pure Gold and stuff. Okay, so we're gonna get out of here. Knock her. She says knock her. Wait, let me just say it because she didn't want to say it. Bertha Williams says knock her the fuck out. That's Cynthia laughing. T. Sissel says she would get slapped back. Tracy Taylor, I wouldn't have no understanding. General Sankofa sent her to jail like they do us. Lisa Caldwell says I would beat the crap out of her. Tracy Thomas, I don't think I would be able to contain myself, but I would call the police. Okay, she ain't. Lauren says she ain't got to be white. She ain't got to be white. I'm going to jail. I understand. Gotcha. Okay, look, I love you all. Appreciate your genuine support for the channel and what we continue to try to do. Remember, I'm not always right, and you are not always wrong. Be it Lord willing, I will come back tomorrow Saturday. We'll be back Tuesday, unless there's some breaking news. You all have a good night. I love you.